Let's make a mid-19th century sacque and petticoat. My name is Caitlin, and on this channel I teach old-fashioned sewing skills and we copy originals. So what we are doing today is making basically two outfits in one. So we're going to make what is called a sacque and petticoat, sometimes in the period referred to as a jacket and petticoat, which is essentially, there's two types of sacque and petticoats, okay? So there is the super working class version, which is a skirt and then a mismatching top that is very unfitted. It is a sacque, and then sometimes pulled in at the waist with an apron. The other version of a sacque and petticoat is the fancy version, where the top and bottom match, and it is used for things such as traveling. You'll see it in recreational wear, such as in hiking, that sort of activity. And both sets can also be used for maternity wear. So we're going to make the skirt a little bit adjustable for this one, just so down the road I can use it as maternity wear as well. So we're going to make one skirt, one petticoat. I have this beautiful lightweight, I mean it is lighter than the cotton I have here, wool, then a beautiful green plaid, which is very appropriate. I'm hoping I have enough here for a sacque and a petticoat. And I'm hoping I have enough to put a little ruffle on the sacque, because I've seen that and I really kind of like that. If I'm going to do the fancy version, I want to do some ruffles or something. And then in my stash I found, we made an apron out of this not too long ago. But it's black and green, and I thought it'd be great for the working class version that is mismatched. Because it matches. It has the green in it. Not that, you know, they really cared about matching back then, but I kind of care. So this is one instance where we can make a mismatching top and bottom. I know I speak a lot about how the blouse, or either white or color blouse with the cotton print skirt, is not correct for this time period. We're talking 1850s and 1860s. And that is true. There is a version of mismatching for working class, and that is the sacque and petticoat, or the jacket and petticoat. And so that's what we're going to do today. I don't know what it is about us modern folks, but we really like doing mismatching for working class. I guess it just looks poor to us for some strange reason. That's not how things were generally in the 19th century, but this is one instance where we can do it. It wouldn't be as common as, say, a one-piece dress. It wouldn't be as common as the matching set. Even working class, they could do a matching sacque and petticoat. Godey's 1859 shows a version of this. And it does say very clearly it's made of wool, and it's just a matching sacque and petticoat. So matching for working is appropriate as well, but I don't have enough of this to make two sacques. So we're going to do mismatching for the working sacque, although I could technically make two sacques, one a little bit fancier, and then one not as fancy. So down the road, this is going to be maternity wear for me. So this will just be another step in making maternity wear, you know, not pregnant, because maternity wear also makes really good, very comfortable at-home wear if you're just sitting around before you get dressed and before you really want to put on anything that's really clothes. It works really well, so for working class. So I'm going for an event this weekend, and I kind of want a new outfit because I'm going to be doing some hard work. Or at least I'm going to be running around like a crazy person. So I figured a sacque and petticoat would be really nice. So let's get started. Alright, let's go ahead and start with cutting the basque for there, because it is the same pattern. The only thing we're going to change is make it a 3/6 back. So it's kind of similar to a basque. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger because you do want it to fit loosely. Front piece here. Lost my giant pattern piece, my big one, so I only have the yoked version, so it's just going to have to go down. I'm going to measure how long it goes beyond this, and then measure the 10 inches. Basically, you're just lengthening your bodice, and then whatever you pattern pieces fit together, just mark against it. That way you know the pieces will fit. I'm choosing bishop because it's the sleeve shape that stays around for basically the whole of the mid-19th century, so I can essentially wear the same outfit for 1850s and 1860s. So what we're going to do is, on this one, is I'm going to mark it because it's going to be fairly different. So mark the parts that need to stay the same. And easy fitted at the shoulders and the neckline. Down here, we're going to mark it exactly against the pattern. We're not going to add that extra, so it's going to be very fitted across the back. This fabric's about 60 inches wide, so I'll get about a 30-inch wide sleeve when I cut it in half. And I don't have to line the sleeves. I could if I wanted to. I don't think I will. In fact, I think we're going to do a half high lining on that, on the wool one. Because I don't think I've shown you that on the channel. I think that'd be fun. And my normal skirt length is 45 inches. Right, lining. So what we're going to do is basically, I think I actually have it marked on here still. Yeah. Okay, we're going to make what is basically a ball gown or an evening gown neckline. So I'm doing this in the front and the back. I also am not going to line the whole thing. I'm only lining it to the waistline. Yes, it's a petticoat, and yes, I'm still putting a pocket in this thing because pockets are life. When I first had petticoats, so surely Sacque and petticoats would have, I think a pocket would make a lot of sense, and it's something I can easily take out if later I find, oh, they didn't do that. Sometimes with historical stuff you have to make educated guesses and just be willing to change it when you find out more information. I'm using like a 2mm stitch, so a very small stitch. I think it actually might be 1.8, which is more typical of what you see with historic sewing machines. Most petticoats would have a fairly deep hem. Because I already have a pocket in this, I've decided to make this more like a skirt that's been turned into a petticoat. I'm working entirely with scraps, so far there are 2 different colors of brown cotton in the skirt. I need about 8 more inches. Alright, it seems like we're almost done, even though we're really not, because typically I've been doing a lot of baby stuff, and on that, baby stuff, the last step we do is doing the gauging. And so now I feel like I'm done with the project because I'm at the gauging portion, and I'm not, because I haven't made either sacque. I really looked long and hard about how I wanted to do the skirt because, again, I want it to be adjustable for pregnancy. So I have never seen, again, an original sacque and coat, especially not one used for pregnancy. Now I know a lot of women can just hike the skirt up a little bit, across their belly, but they can still wear their normal skirts throughout all the first, second trimester, and even most of their third trimester. I don't know if that will be the case for me, and I know women who haven't been able to do that. So I think it's worth exploring making a gown that would be super adjustable. Now there are mid-19th century maternity dresses, essentially, that have what is essentially a drawstring just in the front, and it's put in a very certain way, not how we would typically do a drawstring, because how we do drawstrings today is not a period technique. So I'm going to show you how to do a period drawstring for those of you who are interested. And so I'm going to take that technique that I've seen on three original dresses, and I'm going to put it onto just the skirt. So instead of doing it to the dress bodice that is then attached to the skirt, I'm going to do it to the skirt directly. And what that means is I need to make my waistband a good bit longer than my waist measurement. So I googled it, And would you be surprised that very, very few people put how many inches they gained in their waist throughout a pregnancy? They all just say, oh, I've gained this much weight. Weight does not help me. I need to know how many inches was gained. I found one website that estimated 11 to 15 inches, so I added 15 inches to the length of my current waist. And maybe that'll be fine. Alright, let's talk actual period drawstrings, not what we tend to think of as a drawstring. So starting by taking some quilt tape, and I get to machine sew mine in because this isn't an actual bodice, so no one cares if there's machine stitching here. If you're doing it on an actual bodice, you'd want to, of course, whip it in by hand so you can only catch the lining and not the fascia material, because you don't want to see this from the outside. So I stitched it on one side, I stitched it on the other. I'm going to stitch it right down the middle. I'm only doing this across the front, so a little bit less than half of the skirt is getting the drawstring. And now in these little channels I created, I can put 2 cords. So right now I'm working on hemming the ruffle that's going to go onto the fancy sacque, and I'm using a hemming foot because that's a whole lot faster. Alright, I'm sewing the sacque together, so all the pieces, this is the half-high lining right here. I just hemmed that very quickly, just whatever thread I had on there, it doesn't really matter. If you're doing a sheer basque, I don't know if it would happen on a sacque as well, but a basque is basically a fitted sacque, or a sacque is basically an unfitted basque. They're very similar jacket-like garments that extend beyond the waist into a little bit of a skirted type bodice, essentially. If you're doing a half-high lining on a basque or a sacque or a bodice and your fabric is sheer, I have seen this edge finished with lace, so you get that little lace effect beneath the sheer of your fabric. Mine is not sheer. I just hemmed it. I also hemmed this bottom edge. I'm pretty sure I've seen this edge left raw before on extended sacque type garments, but you know, not that. You can also fully line the thing. I just felt like there's a lot of fabric when I was running out of brown cotton. Let's see here. Alright, right now I am working on sleeves still, but I'm attaching them. We're just about to, I haven't done any fitting on it yet. There's really nothing that needs to be fitted except for I need to fully commit to a length so that I can cut it to the right size and then attach the ruffle, which is already hemmed, so that's the easy part. Got the other sleeve in. I just had to figure out which side did I put the button on. I put the button on the inside. Okay. I think I'm going to use the same buttons for both sacques just because it makes sense to me. So I have these little original vegetable ivory buttons, which vegetable ivory is a nut essentially that you carve, and I have a lot of original buttons that have vegetable ivory just on the sleeves, nowhere else. I'm not doing closures on the top at all. I'm going to pin it at the top, and then of course the bottom is going to be held in with an apron. So I prefer doing this by hand. I've seen some originals that were done by hand, so by machine. Even on machine sewn garments, sometimes the sleeves are sewn in by hand because it lays better when it's done by hand than it does by machine. Or at least I find that when you have piping plus machine sewing, it really makes your arm size stick out in a very strange and unflattering way. And this just combats that. let's try on some sacques and a petticoat. The petticoat I have on underneath it is actually supposed to go over a hoop, so it may show on the hem or underneath the hem of this. This is not the petticoat I would be wearing normally. I probably should have grabbed an apron. I'll go grab one in a minute. Okie doke. I forgot to put hooks and eyes in this thing. Can't believe I forgot that. Well, we'll pin it in right now and I'll fix it in a minute. Who am I kidding? I'm probably just gonna pin it for forever now. Alright, so that is the petticoat, all nice and gathered. Actually, it works out perfectly as far as length goes. It's also the petticoat, and then I have a pocket right on the side, which is where I like my pockets. Nice good sized pocket. Yep, that works. Let's try the fancy sacque. Okay, there's a pen sticking out here, but I'm gonna be aware of it, so I'm not gonna deal with that. Closures here. I mean, it's a sacque. Sacque is a very good term for this type of garment. Like, it is a sacque. Again, it'll be great for maternity wear because this does go out right there, so that'd be fantastic. I think that's cute. I mean, as cute as it can be. Great for at-home wear. I mean, this is super comfortable. So, yeah, I probably do need to go grab an apron before the next one because I'll at least pull in my waist a little bit and make it look a little bit better. I could pull this in with a belt. No, they're outside. I don't want to go get my belt. We're just going to have to look at it like it's a pregnancy dress. Yep, that's a great maternity gown. Or recreational gown, you know, one of the two. Alright, let's try the other one. I'm not even going to bother putting another pin in because I'm going to hold this in with an apron. I'm going to go grab one. Okay, I found an 1830s apron, but it will work for our purposes. See, that's a little bit better. That's cute. It's about the same length as that one lady who's, what's she doing, washing dishes? It's about that length. I think they look really cute with a white apron. Like, kind of nice. Are they the most flattering things in the world? Absolutely not, but I'm about to do a refugee impression next month, and I'll be wearing this. This is super comfortable. I'll bring them both, and probably my wrapper that looks like a dress, and that's going to be it. I don't plan on wearing anything specifically pretty or, I don't expect to be looking my best. I'm supposed to be a refugee, so sacque, petticoat, apron, and then a wrapper I think will be good. It's something you don't often see. I mean, to be fair, most events, this would not be appropriate because you're with people. I mean, however, if you're a refugee and you're literally just grabbing whatever you can and running before the army gets here, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning, you're still in your sacque and petticoats. Looks like you're running away in your sacque and petticoat. Like, you might grab the first thing, which was probably your wrapper that you put on over your nightgown. So you're going to grab that too in whatever you can physically stuff up, and that's probably going to be your only clothing options as a refugee. So there's a good possibility that this could be a good refugee outfit, but definitely not something that normal people would wear around other people. So if you're entertaining or if you're at a house, most of the time this is probably not going to be it because this is extreme working wear, but it's cute working wear. So I don't know what it is about modern people and our love of mismatching tops and bottoms. It's just, I guess it looks folksy and old-timey to us, but this is not the norm. The norm would be a full one-piece dress. For maternity or for at-home wear, or the other times we discussed we might be wearing a sacque and petticoat, that's totally different. But even normally you would have the sacque and petticoat match. This is out of the ordinary, again, for extreme working at-home wear. Not out and about, not around other people. I've been wanting a sacque and petticoat for a really long time, so this is nice. Glad we got it off the to-do list. I think the fabrics look good together too. I mean, that's gonna be really nice. That's kind of a nicer at home. This will be a nicer maternity one down the road, but this will be my farm wife about to go kill a chicken outfit. That looks about right. This is my go-to kill a chicken outfit now. Cool. Okay, well maybe not this apron, but more appropriate apron. Do I have an appropriate apron now? Because I have the apron that matches this, which I wouldn't be wearing with this. I have a white apron, which I would be using to kill chickens. Oh yeah, I have the gray one with all those holes in it. Finally found the fabric for that, so I can actually mend that. Next time we do a mending Monday, I can actually mend all those holes because I finally found the extra fabric for that. Oh yeah, and I have the red one too. Okay, yeah, we have aprons, they'll be fine. Never short on aprons. Don't know why I thought I was going to be. But yeah, I think that's going to be about it for our lovely sacque and petticoat outfit. I had fun. This has been something on my to-do list for a while. I mean, this isn't something everyone should be doing. In fact, most people shouldn't be doing. But I'm at the stage of life where I'm going to want one pretty soon anyway. So I figured, I'll make it for the refugee impression and we'll have it down the road too. So if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe to the channel, click that little bell notification so you're notified anytime I upload a new video. And as always, have a fantastic week and I'll see you back here in the next video.